Okay, hi boys and girls, what is up? Tremaine Hayho here. As you can see, something a little bit different today. I feel like every YouTube video starts off that way. Everyone's like, oh, something a little bit different today. I'm just gonna make the same video as I always do. Okay. Spider-Man Homecoming. What did I think of it? Find out now. So what's up guys? By the way, I'm on a selfie stick vlogging how the badasses do it. I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry for being such a badass. I'm actually not that sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Spider-Man Homecoming is starring Tom Holland, Michael Keaton, Robert Downey Jr, Zendaya, and many others. Directed by Jon Watts, who has also made Clown and Cop Car. Okay, very interesting choice of director. I feel like Spider-Man Homecoming was a lot of fun to watch, but it wasn't without its flaws. Now, what do I mean by that? I had a blast watching it, and then the more I thought about stuff, and I thought about it while I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, some of these things bugged me. That's a horrible joke, guys. Now for a word from our sponsor.
Every day, over 2 million people travel using a rideshare app. Most people arrive at their destinations safe and sound. A select few do not. Beware whose car you get into. Rideshare, arriving soon.
Hey, thank you, sponsor. If you guys want to see cool movies, check out Rideshare. It's my first feature film. I'm super stoked on it, stoked to show you guys. I've been working hard on it. First off, what I really liked is the fact that we don't have to see the Uncle Ben dying story. I'm so grateful that we did not have to see that. We've seen it before. This is the third reboot in 15 years. It's like, okay, we get it, we know the story, get it, got it, good. I like the fact that he's a teenager, he's in high school, he's a sophomore. Oh, by the way, there will be some spoilers in this, so I'm just gonna assume that you've already seen it since a lot of people have already seen it, but this is my original take on it. If you don't want the movie to be spoiled for you, know that I like the movie and I'm gonna give this movie a 3 stars out of 4. So the rest of you that have already seen the movie, congratulations, you made it to the next round. I want to talk about the stuff that really bugged me first, then I'll talk about the stuff that I really liked. Normally people do it the opposite way, but I'm a little bit different now, aren't I? I have a little list here. Spider-Man. Okay, everything leads up to the academic decathlon. They're like, oh, Peter, you can't make it. And then he's like, oh, yeah, he's like, Tony Stark, because I have an internship with Tony Stark. I don't think I'm going to be able to leave New York. And then he's like, oh, wait a second, I actually am going to be able to leave New York because now the lair is in Maryland, even though the guys were selling guns outside of New York, which their lair is like 3 hours away. Didn't really make sense. The logistics of what you think about the criminals at the party, which he happened to just see these crazy electrolytes or whatever they are being shot off outside of the party. But no one else seems to see it. No one else calls the cops. Nothing else happens. It's only Spider-Man that sees it. No one else at the party sees it. Like, literally the only person in the realm of New York suburbs can see that they're shooting this ridiculous gun in plain sight. Come on, give me a break here. Spider-Man goes and foils the plans of these criminals that want to buy, like a criminal played by, I want to say Danny Glover, but Danny Glover's son, Donald Glover. Many of you might not even know that that's Danny Glover's son, but it is. He's a good actor in his own right, good rapper. But yeah, so wait, what? Okay, first off, they're shooting this ridiculous gun in plain sight. That seems to be really stupid. Michael Keaton, the boss man, makes that point to his henchmen, like, dude, don't be an idiot. Why are you in plain sight shooting these guns? That was really dumb. No one else, okay, but worse, no one else sees it except for Spider-Man. Come on, give me a break here. Literally 0 people said it or mentioned it or commented about it. Okay, that's weird. Spider-Man was cool, but the whole time he's like talking like this. He's like, oh guys, I'm Spider-Man. I'm just a kid, I'm just a boy. I'm Spider-Man, meh. And I could tell he's putting on an accent. I think a lot of people didn't realize the actual actor is British, and it's really hard to, like, I find it tough for Americans to have British accent. I think it's even tougher for British people to have American accents. The person that I was with, she was like, oh, I didn't know that he was an English actor. Like, okay, so it fooled her, but I knew that he was an English actor. Something about the accent was off. He's just like talking like this the whole time. Like, oh man, it's just me, Spider-Man. And that bugged me. Another thing, a big thing. Spider-Man all of a sudden is afraid of heights when he goes to the Washington Monument, and it takes him forever to climb up to the top of it. And while the elevator is broken down, that didn't make any sense because he's swinging off skyscrapers in New York. But the Washington Monument, now all of a sudden he gets scared, made no sense. Also, okay, so the police had no idea who Spider-Man was. Come on. In New York in 2017, if Spider-Man already is a thing where he's local to the community, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, once you think word got out to another city that's 3 hours away or however many hours away it is from Washington, D.C. to New York, come on, guys. They would know. That scene was cool when he swings off the helicopter and he breaks into the Washington Monument because he breaks the 4-inch plexiglass. But the police were like, who are you? Identify yourself. Put your hands up or we're going to shoot. Like, that's obviously Spider-Man. Like, there's no way in hell, like 2017, with all this technology that they have, that everyone would know who Spider-Man was. Everyone around the world would know who Spider-Man was. Yeah, you could say, oh yeah, it's kind of the beginning, maybe not as many people. No, you would know it. As soon as day one, red and blue costumed character is swinging off of buildings and saving good guys from bad guys, yeah, that would get worldwide attention on day one. Next off, Spider-Man gets captured. His spider suit is like, oh, you're in the most secure spot on the eastern seaboard. Well, if it's the most secure sealed spot on the eastern seaboard, don't you think there'd be security cameras inside? Don't you think someone would be like, hey, who's that costumed character that looks a lot like Spider-Man inside our facility? What's he doing there? Maybe, just maybe, we should go scout it out. Like, that would make more sense if there was a security guard that came in and busted him and then he tied him up and then got the security card and broke out that way. That would make a lot more sense than just chilling, waiting for the morning and then in the door to open. Like, please, that didn't make much sense at all. Also, conveniency. Okay, so the Vulture is the bad guy. Michael Keaton's Vulture is the bad guy, who was a great bad guy. He was super entertaining to watch. I love the scene right before Homecoming when it's the dad and then the kid that is seeing the dad's daughter. He's having this conversation and he's like, while they're on the way, things are adding up. Oh, wait a second, I think this guy's Spider-Man. And he gives him that talk. That was fantastic. I love that part. But then they go to the homecoming dance and immediately Peters is like, I have to go. I'm sorry. It's like a coming of age teen drama set in school and it all builds up to the homecoming. It's called Spider-Man Homecoming, okay? And he's there for 2 seconds. Homecoming is literally maybe 20 seconds of the movie. Maybe, right? I expected a lot more. I expected, come on, at least have him get out there, have him get some few dances in. Maybe he almost kisses someone and then something happens and then he has to leave, right? Have it more dramatic that way. Have more suspense. Build that scene up more. Like, I wanted to see the homecoming dance. You know, I wanted to see it like, you know, like in Napoleon Dynamite when they go to the dance and he's having this awkward dance with a girl and there's a classic song going on. There was a huge opportunity missed there. It could have been him nervously dancing, him so awkward around girls, around, you know, the hot girl Liz, whatever. There was a huge opportunity missed. Literally, as soon as he gets to the homecoming dance, he leaves. And it's like, okay, that was like the biggest missed opportunity of the movie. As soon as he leaves homecoming, the Shocker guy, it's kind of suspect, but that's what he's called in the comic, but whatever. Anyway, the Shocker guy, which it was cool seeing that hammer thing. He like just pummels Spider-Man. Spider-Man flies. There was this really cool shot where, well, actually, I'll get into the cool stuff later. But conveniently, so Spider-Man sprints out, you know, leaves in a matter of seconds, and then he's fighting the guy for about 20 seconds. And then all of a sudden, his friend is there to save him with the web shooter, okay? The friend's a big guy, kind of overweight. There'd be no way that this guy could actually catch up to that location and save the day. That being said, that was a really cool scene, and it was cool seeing that the friend had that part in saving him, all right? I will say that. That was a really cool part, which we'll get into the cool parts in a second, but I had to get this stuff out of the way because there was come on, there were some things like, dude, why? Like, I know it's about a guy that was bit by a radioactive spider that has all these powers, but there were still so many things that were so outside of the realm of possibility. Also, another gripe, his spider sense. There's no spider sense. He literally does not have a spider sense in the movie. There's parts where he gets pummeled by a bus, like he gets hit, like literally has zero spider sense. Mostly all the technologies relied on the suit, and the suit's like this crazy Iron Man technology, which was really cool. It has like tasers. Okay, let's get to the cool part. So the cool part was the Spider-Man suit. That was just cool. It was cool because it had all these technological advancements. It made sense because it was Tony Stark's invention. He gave it to Spider-Man, and it utilizes his power to a T, and it's super cool. He loses the suit and he earns the suit back. I really like that element. That was really cool. It was sick seeing the fact that there's tasers for sensors. I love the fact that he had 500 some different options of web slinging or whatever. So that leaves a lot of room for cool technological advancements. And there's also like super sensitivity. He could hear conversations through doors, through windows. That was really cool. Although I kind of wish that it was more of his abilities and his special powers versus just a suit. So it almost makes it like anyone could just wear the suit and have it form fit on them, and then they could be Spider-Man. It almost seemed to be that way because so much was reliant on this suit. Another thing I thought was really cool was when he was leaving the party and he's in the suburbs and he's trying to web sling, but he's in the suburbs, so you can't really high fly swing anywhere. And I didn't really think about that as much because it works so well, the fact that he's in New York, because there's all these skyscrapers, so he can just swing around all the time. But it would actually be very inconvenient to be Spider-Man in the countryside or the suburbs or something. So that was really cool, and that was something that they acknowledged. I like the fact that the movie didn't take itself too seriously. There was a lot of humor in it. There were a lot of jokes. I liked that a lot. Also, Michael Keaton's Vulture. That was super cool. Like, the suit was amazing. William Dafoe was a very amazing supervillain, but his suit was kind of lame. I'll say a little bit better. A little bit better than the Goblin. I think there was the whole Harry's dad thing that they just kind of glossed over. They didn't have that. So that was interesting. But it was very similar to the Oscorp situation because when Harry's dad is the Goblin, now we've got Liz's dad, his love interest, as the Vulture. So there's a very similar storyline there. And it seemed to be, when you think about it, like, okay, Liz's dad is rich. He has the means to create this. He's like an entrepreneur. He has a chip on his shoulder. He has a reason to be a bad guy. So similar thing with Harry. Harry's dad has a chip on his shoulder, is super rich, is an entrepreneur, and becomes a bad guy. So the more you think about it, it's like, okay, it's like the same story, but a little bit different. And that's essentially what it is. I mean, it's a reboot of Spider-Man. It's the third reboot in 15 years. So there's not much that is new. The new stuff is the suit. The new stuff is Iron Man, which, by the way, I love the fact that we had Iron Man there. It made a perfect mentor for Spider-Man. It made a lot of sense. So I really liked that. Oh, one more gripe was the guy that's supposed to be looking after Spider-Man, Happy, played by Jon Favreau, an excellent director in his own right. I love Iron Man. I love Zathura. And a lot of the movies that he's made. But his character was like, they were so lackluster. They didn't really care about Spider-Man. He's like, hey, don't call me, whatever. He saw Spider-Man as more of like a nuisance than as an actual guy to be looking after. So it didn't seem like he was really looking after, and maybe that's what they were going for. It seemed to be like he didn't really care at all about Spider-Man and didn't really want anything to do with him. And then also, like, with the whole Vulture, like, terrorizing the boat and the neighborhood and coming out, don't you think some of the Avengers would step in? I mean, they're like, oh, well, it's kind of a little bit below their pay grade. It was like, well, what is their pay grade? I mean, there's a freaking super villain with a Vulture costume that can chop steel and like shoot crazy bombs and go through walls thing, which that was another cool aspect. I like that they use these alien technology, which they didn't explain. They're like, oh, we have this alien technology that's here. What can it do? And then they don't really explain it at all. So I'm like, okay, that's very vague, and they can use whatever they want. Oh, what can this do? Oh, well, it's alien technology, so of course I can develop this. So that's kind of a weak point when you think about it, but it is kind of cool at the same time. It's like this cool magical power or whatever resource that an alien has that we don't have. But yeah, overall, Spider-Man Homecoming, a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Wasn't perfect. Was way better than the second Spider-Man reboot. Way better than the third Spider-Man. I liked it better than the second Spider-Man. Was it as good or better than the first original Spider-Man back in 2002? It was pretty comparable. I think it's right up there with it. I mean, it's original enough, right? That's what I really liked about it. It wasn't just a regular rehash what they did with The Amazing Spider-Man, which that was kind of a lame reboot. I still enjoyed those too, but they're kind of lame reboots. I'd give those ones like 2 stars, 2.5 stars maybe. Out of 4. This is all out of 4, by the way. Oh yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming, 3 stars, very enjoyable. Watched it in 3D. I saw it in 3D, and that was really cool. That added a lot to it. So go out there, check it out, see it, watch it in 3D, have a good time. It isn't a perfect movie, but you'll have a blast watching it. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you want me to see more videos, comment below. What else do you want me to see? What else do you want me to review? I'm gonna be doing these hopefully once a week as I'm making a movie called RIDESHARE. It's coming out October 13th, Friday, October 13th. I'm doing these little movie reviews just to get you guys in the little movie mood so you guys can get ready, warmed up for the actual movie that's coming out October 13th, and it's called RIDESHARE. I've been doing these little movie reviews in between just to kind of keep you warmed up and get my editing, you know, give myself a break from editing a feature film to editing a little silly movie review. But I have a lot of fun talking about movies, and that's something that I feel like I should have been doing for a long ass time, but now I'm finally doing it, so exactly. All right, love you guys, see you tomorrow, bye. Subscribe, okay, my name's Tremaine Hey-Ho. Watch my movie, RIDESHARE movie. Okay, bye.